Hello YouTube, my name is Lano025 and this is the first video I'm making, and I was thinking about showing my Pokemon game collection that I have because I thought it was the great time to do because of the Pokemon Go hype. So I will just start off with the original games, Red and Blue. Yeah, these were the games that it all started with. It was released in 1996 in Japan, 1998 in the US, and 1999 in the Balkan countries. These were the really great games when it started. It was really a great concept with trading Pokemons with a link cable, and that you had two versions of the same game. What that had only difference was that you had different Pokemons in it. At the time there wasn't another game I believe that had this concept, or maybe if you know that, put it down in the comments below. Yeah, my first game was Pokemon Red that I played. Yeah, I put a lot of hours in it and it was really great. Also, my brother played a lot of this game back in the day when he had lots of studying to do. He was playing instead he was playing this game. It was really funny. Later on we also got Pokemon Yellow version. This game, it's also, you could say, almost the same game. The difference here is that you had Pikachu, like in the anime, behind you, following you outside of his Pokeball. It was funny to see Pikachu walking with you in game. Also, what you had Team Rocket, Jesse and James from the anime. You had them also here that you had to battle a couple of times. What was really great about this version, you could have all three the starters at the beginning, where therefore in Red and Blue you had to choose between the three. Sometimes it was a difficult choice to make, because all three the starters are great. Yeah, the concept was to collect 8 badges and then battle the Elite Four and the champion, and collect all 150 Pokemon, or you could say 151 with Mew. Yeah, these were really awesome games. I also had a hacked version of Pokemon Green that was released in Japan. The difference here was they had Pokemon Red and Green instead of Red and Blue. These were older versions, you could say. The sprites were a little different, and some in-game locations also looked a little bit different, like the Cerulean Cave was more difficult on this version than the Western releases of Red and Blue. Later on they also got Pokemon Blue, and that version, the blue that they got, is the same ones as the Red and Blue we got here in the Western countries. Also, what I really like about these games, they had colored cartridges. Like Blue had a blue cartridge, Pokemon Red had a red, and a yellow one. In Japan they didn't have that, they just had the standard cartridges. Also, what I liked on this version, this is a you could say a reproduction. It was never released here in the Western countries. They also made a green cartridge. Really awesome, if you ask me. So yeah, these were the original Game Boy games. Later on you also had on the N64, therefore we go to the consoles, yeah, Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap. Yeah, this was really great. This introduced also the transfer pack, where you could transfer your Pokemon from the red and blue and yellow to Pokemon Stadium and battle on the big screen on TV with 3D models of the Pokemon. It was really awesome. But I must say, I think this is the most difficult Pokemon game that I've ever played. It's really, really hard. I don't think, I almost think it's almost impossible to beat the game with those rental Pokemons they give you in the beginning, because they really have shitty moves and really don't have good stats and all. So they really force you to use the Pokemons of the Game Boy games to beat this game. And then, even with that, it's really a difficult game, in my opinion, to beat completely, because you also have round 2 of the game. Then you have Pokemon Snap. This is really unique. You make pictures and of the Pokemon in unique ways. So it's like pre-Pokemon Go, if you ask me. Awesome. Also, you had Hey You Pikachu. It was it was not released in the European countries. Sadly to say, I didn't play this game, but I read and saw some reviews of it. It wasn't that great, but I got a good deal on this game, so I got it for myself. But one of these days I will start playing it to see it for myself. Then we go to the second generation of games, Gold and Silver. Yeah, I remember getting the gold version. My mother ordered this one for me with the Game Boy Color. It was unique that you had the 8-bit graphics in color for the first time. So that was really awesome, and 100 new Pokemons were introduced in these games. And also what was really awesome with these games, that you also, after you collected the 8 badges from the Johto region, you also go to the Kanto region again and collect the 8 badges from the Kanto region. So you had, in total, you had to collect 16 badges. So that was a really awesome concept. So you had a really long game. These are really awesome games. I think to this day are just my favorite games. Really awesome. Afterwards you also got the Crystal version. Here the story was more based with Suicune, one of the 3 legendary dogs. And also here, when you at the beginning, when you choose, you could only choose a boy character. Now you can also choose a girl character. It was first introduced in this game. Also the Pokemon sprites make some movements. Started with that game. Then with the second generation on the N64, we also got Pokemon Stadium 2. Yeah, it was a little bit of improvement of the original game, if you ask me. More Pokemons and some more in-game things that you could do. And it was also really a difficult game, but still I think it was a little bit easier than the first game. But I really enjoyed it. Also, I forgot to mention we had the Pokemon Puzzle League on the N64. To this day, like Hey You Pikachu, I didn't play this game. I bought this game much later on, so I really need to play this game also. Now we go to the third generation of games, Ruby and Sapphire. Yeah, with this gen, there the camera go. With this gen, I didn't really grow up with this gen. I don't know, but these games didn't trigger me to play them. I guess I didn't like the Pokemon designs that much. Yeah, it's a bit strange. I played these games much later on, but I really liked these games. It introduced the running ability, the running shoes, so it was much faster paced than the Kanto and Yoto. The first and the second gen Pokemon games. It was and also more Pokemons were introduced here. Later on, we also got Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald. Fire Red, Leaf Green are the remakes of the first games, and here it had the same gameplay, game style of game mechanics as the Ruby and Sapphire, where therefore these adapters were introduced, where you can trade wirelessly without a link cable. But you also could trade Pokemons with the link cable if you didn't have these adapters. So it was a unique way to trade Pokemons between these games. And here you had some also some new locations in these games, and Pokemons from the Johto region you could also catch in here. And Emerald was the last of the handheld games that was released for the third gen. I must say it's the best game to play of these 5 games, especially if you compare it to Ruby and Sapphire. Therefore, you had both Team Aqua and Magma stories, and you also had the Battle Frontier that's much more challenging than collecting the gem badges. It was a challenge after the Elite Four. Really a great game. Now we have on the GameCube we have Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD. Also, these were 3D games, but not like the Pokemon Stadium games. Therefore, you had a 3D adventure. It was not just battling and playing mini games. Therefore, you had a real adventure on the big screen. really also awesome games. You also could trade Pokemons with the third generation games and use them here on these games. Yeah, these were really great games. Pokemon XD is the follow-up of Pokemon Colosseum. Some mechanics are just a little bit more optimized, like the purifying of the shadow Pokemons. It's just a little bit better, goes faster than the original game, the Colosseum one. Here it just takes a lot of time to purify all Pokemons. Yeah, these were the third generation games. Now we go for the fourth gen. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I remember buying Pearl, the Pearl version, and a friend of mine got the Diamond version. We played a lot together, battled and traded Pokemons between these games. Yeah, in the graphics were a huge step forward compared to the third gen. The graphics were really beautiful. I was blown away by it back then. Really looked great. I also really liked the concept of Dialga and Palkia, the time and space concept. And therefore you also could trade. It was the first time it introduced that you could trade online with people all over the world with the GTS. Later on we also got the Pokemon Platinum version. It was, yeah, here for you had Giratina, had its own form here. Giratina was also introduced in Diamond and Pearl, but in Platinum he got its origin form where he could travel between dimensions. Also, if you had to play one of the 3 games, then Platinum is the best version to play. Now we go to also of the 4th gen we have Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These are the remakes of the original Gold and Silver. With that, these have the same graphics as the Diamond and Pearl. It looks really neat if you ask me. And also here you could catch Pokemons from the 3rd gen and trade with the 4th gen Pokemon with Diamond and Pearl. And with these games you also had the Pokewalkers that were introduced, that you get when you pre-order these games. You get boxes like these with the Pokewalkers. With these Pokewalkers you could transfer your Pokemons on it, and when you go outside and walk with the Pokewalker, your Pokemon level up during that time period, and also pick some items. Sometimes you could get really great items, and then you could transfer them back in your game. It was a really neat idea. It was, you could say, a pre-Pokemon Go game with some little elements that were introduced here. These were the 4th gen Pokemon games. Now we go to the 5th gen, wherefore we have Black and White. Yeah, I must say here the Pokemon designs start to decline a little bit. Some designs weren't that great, but I really like the story in these games. They were also much darker than the previous games, and you had Team Plasma and Anne and Gatsus. Gatsus is a really awesome villain. I must say, really awesome villain, because he also thought things of Pokemon to use as tools, not as friends. And yeah, the GTS and the online trading, battling was more optimized in these versions compared to the 4th gen. So some mechanics were a little bit better. Also later on, when these games were released, I was thinking, when will the gray version be released? But they didn't release it. They instead released Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, where you had Kyurem, like Giratina, that was introduced in Black and White. He had the main role in Black and White 2, wherefore he could fuse with Zekrom or Reshiram with the DNA splicers. It was the first time that you could fuse a Pokemon in these games. In Black and White 2, it's not much different compared to the original ones. Some gems were different, some in-game maps, locations were some little bit different, and some trainers, but yeah, it's not much different as the original games, but still a little bit better, so I would recommend Black and White 2 instead of Black and White 1 if you had to choose one of these games to play. Now the 6th generation, we have Pokemon X. I only have X right now at the moment. Later on I'm planning to get Y when I want to start a new file. In this gem they only introduce 50 new Pokemons, but yeah, here you could see really some declining in the Pokemon designs, if you ask me. I didn't like them that much, and also the story, I didn't care that much for it. But the mechanics and the 3D effect of the 3D in game were really great. But the 3D effect with the 3DS weren't that great, because when you turn the 3D on during battles, you really get some slowdown in the game. So they could do a better job on it, if you ask me. It wasn't that great, so most of the time I just turned off the 3D while I was playing the game. Also later on with the 6th gen they introduced Alpha Sapphire. I also forgot to mention that in this gen they also introduced the Mega Evolving. That was really awesome. Some designs were really great. Really awesome. Some Mega Evolved Pokemon like Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard had even 2 forms, X and Y, depending on the game that you had. And Alpha Sapphire introduced more Mega Evolving Pokemon, and also Kyogre and Groudon got their primal forms. This was my game collection that I had to show. There are much more games that I'm planning to get later on. But yeah, it was a long video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Game on.